Welcome back to My First Time. Thank you guys for joining us. We've been bringing you guys proven growers, asking them to talk about their first time. We want to hear about all the salacious details, some of the follies, the foibles, the misgivings, what we can work on from then, where that links us to now. And, we have a great guest today. I asked him to come on, and he absolutely said, yeah. It's our buddy JP from Yield Source, man. You guys know Yield Source. Here we are. What's up, JP?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I've been doing great, man. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you made some time to talk to our people. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, what do you do? What is it you do? 'Cause where do we know you from?
Well, I run a channel, as Yield Source, and I have fun running auto flowers on the 24 hours of light, and I do it for fun. I love to grow now that I'm back into it, and it's been great. Just testing the limits. I like to test the limits. I like to do things that other growers say they shouldn't do, or things that are impossible. So I love the testing and having the fun with the plants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you've really bridged some. You built some bridges in the community for sure. And the way I met you too, like we were just kind of like circling each other, and then you had this AFCO Overdrive challenge going on. Tell us about that a little bit because you spread a lot of love into the community.
Man, we were just sitting, we do lives every weekend, so like you do, and we were just sitting like, man, it would be absolutely cool if we all had the same weed to smoke. He was like, well, let's just send some seeds around and grow it together. And that was a good idea. So, one of the guys sent some seeds, but he's in Canada. Those seeds got caught up in customs. They're still there. It's like 6 months later. And we never got those seeds. So I reached out to Pollen Sacks, a guy that, he does great things in his own style. And he's a cool dude. And he said he had some AFCO Overdrive. And at the time, it was mislabeled. He thought they were all feminized. I said, well, if they're feminized, send them to me, and I'll buy some, and I'll send them out. So I bought a bunch of seeds, and we sent them out. But they happened to be male and female, and it kind of took the grow a little in a different direction. But we plan to do it again. We're going to do another grow off just so we can have the same weed to smoke, and for newer growers to learn as they're growing with us. Like if they're having a question or something that's bothering or troubling them in their grow, they will be able to grow along with us and figure out what's the problem and address the issue live in real time with us at the same time.
Well, I gotta say, I get a lot of notifications, especially with the hashtag like AFCO Overdrive. A lot of people out there, because you reached out, because you spread so many seeds around, like Johnny Appleseed out there. You kind of like spread that stuff around. I got two seeds, one male, one female. There's a female. I'm way behind everybody because I took a bunch of clones. So yeah. But yeah, it smells fantastic. It's really nice to have this here. It was nice to participate with the rest of the community at large, and you made that happen. So I got to say, like, kind of a legend right there. Yeah.
That also became a contest. Like the biggest nut was going to win $200 cash. And we were sponsored by Bloom Plus at the time, so you would win a Bloom Plus sponsorship and a light. If you didn't want the sponsorship, you didn't need to take it. And there was a lot of gifts. So everybody who participated was happy. Like you say, it was a blessing. And they started donating things to win in a great big box at the end of the grow off. And I believe Simply Grows Buds was the winner. And
congratulations, Simply Grows. Yeah.
You want to light a tent and plenty of things to grow with. So we are going to do it again. It's going to be fun. And this time we're going to run auto flowers.
Right, so you didn't start out just like being Johnny Appleseed, throwing like AFCO seeds all around, sharing with the community. I mean, there was a time before we all kind of knew you. Let's hit the rewind button and go way back. Let's try to go back to like your first grow. Talk about your first time a little bit, right?
Yeah, my first grow, man. My little cousin always had a passion for growing. He always wanted to grow, but we never had the time to do it. We were like in the streets. I'm from Detroit, and we run and make a lot of money. We do a lot of things, so. To help him out, I figured out I would start a grow. So like back when autoflowers were getting popular, he was really taking it serious. And I thought you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up a grow. And I was going to help him do it, but he didn't have the space. And I had an extra room. I had kids living there. And for some reason, it was time for them to go. So we went on ahead and let them go. And I was like, well, with the spare room, let's grow. I took some garbage bags, and take them to the windows, block out all the light, and from our own personal light, grab the T7 for vegging, and I was going to use the whole room. I'm like, man, no tents, no anything. I'm going to use this whole room. We're going to grow. And I went and grabbed some AK-47 seeds. Can't remember where I got them from. I think it was some guy. Threw those things in some dirt, man, and some solo cups, and I started vegging right away. And I'm not an old school guy. I didn't start way back when. I'm just pretty knowledgeable. So I was like, I'm just gonna study this for a couple days and just dive head first, and all my mistakes I'm gonna learn from them. And that AK-47 it's a hardy plant. It took off. It was growing like crazy. I had a mother plant, so I started taking snippings and cloning directly into the dirt. Just drop them in there. So I had I think I had about 12 plants, but the mother plant was huge. Something happened, and my grow was interrupted extremely. And
you didn't get to harvest your first grow.
I didn't get to harvest my first grow, but
that's the story for a lot of people.
I was there. I was there when the harvest. I was there when the harvest happened, though, because I was fortunate enough to give it to somebody and continue to help with my grow, because they had a full grow setup. So something happened. The people that were living in the house was having a lot of trouble. So I invited them to move back in and gave the kid the room back. So I had to move that first grow. I moved it to a guy's house, and he had established a house on the side where all he did was grow. And I put that the AK-47 mother plant in his grow room, and he was pissed at me.
Oh no.
The AK-47 plant took over pushing plants to the side. That thing got fucking huge, man. It got huge. I think it was AK-40, because the way that thing grew after stretch, man, it got really, really big in there. So he was mad for a while, and he had to move things around some more.
He got that plant envy.
Yeah. He had to move other plants up the way. And luckily, the smaller plants, I gave them to my little cousin because he wanted to grow as well. They didn't turn out as good because that was his first time as well. But that plant, he says right now to this day, was one of the best plants he ever grew. Right now. Yep. So I did get to see it harvest. I get to see him. He sold it all, smoked a lot of it, but it was that AK-47 was a very, very hardy plant. Very, very hardy. And we took some clones after that, and I gave some to my other cousin, and he grows outside. And man, he just pours newts on everything like it's crazy. That plant was over the gate. So I didn't get to see that one harvest or smoke that because he went to jail, and he's in there now for something completely different. But yeah,
many harvests later.
Yeah, many harvests later.
So we're talking about, like, I remember you and I were talking just backstage, like that's like mid 2000s, right? Like,
yeah, that was like 2000.
Yeah.
Yep, that's when autoflowers were first really hitting the scene, and made my cousin very accusing, like, man, 8 weeks, and that's when autoflowers were ass. That's like when they were horrible. Like, even if you did the 8 weeks, it wasn't good, but
it was experimental at best, if I remember back then. Yeah. With the autos. Yeah, I mean, I kind of came into the scene like 2014, 2015, got real serious. But I had fucked around. I had an experimental period, like back when I was like in college, under my mom's basement under the stairs. You know what I mean? Like one of those deals. But you're kind of like the rest of the people we've talked to, where for one reason or another, not for lack of success, you didn't finish your first time. But then you were able to regroup and you got serious again. You were able to get a harvest. What were the situations that surrounded that?
The regroup got you last year, January 14th. Last year, that was the regroup. I own a production studio. That's where I am now, and I have a spare room in the back. And I'm like, you know what? I might as well grow again. So I bought some tents, bought some lights, and we planted blackberry autoflower. And that thing got huge. It got very, very big, and did very well. Did very, very well. And I said, hey, we're going to record it, and we're going to start a channel. So that's the recap, and that's where we are now. running the autoflowers. Like I said, doing a lot of homework, doing a lot of research, knowing what to do, and applying it. That was my grow. That's how I did that. And nothing's changed. Everything's the same. I'm running the same schedule, the same lights, same everything. And the research really helped.
Well, it sounds like you started back off on the right foot if you're doing the same thing now as you were like a little bit ago. Um, but then like well, of course we have experience to learn and we grow from. We got this grow and then the next grow, we try to make it better. Maybe the grow after that, we finally start implementing some of the stuff we learned in the first one, and then we go from there. If I was to put you like in like a time machine, right? We're gonna take you back to the first grow and JP now, knowing what you know now. What advice would you give, or what would you maybe say to JP back in 2008 about that grow to kind of like be at least encouragement or some good advice, or to set yourself on a different path? Like I know your thoughts today are probably different than they were then. Although it looks like you know how to use a spare room, so that hasn't changed.
Oh, the advice from that about growing that I would give to the old JP is just don't give up next time. Next time I could have just took it in the basement. I shouldn't have gave up. Just work through it, persevere. I shouldn't have just gave up so easy, because like at this point I would think, hey, I did have a successful grow, but I had plenty of reasons to give up, but I didn't. I stuck it through this time, and the learning as I grow that hasn't changed. I'm going every time I grow, I'm going to learn something. I don't care if I feel confident enough to outgrow or undergrow someone else. That it's not with me. I like to learn in every aspect all the time. So if like anything I see that I may need help with, I will ask a question. If I see something that I thought may go a different way and didn't go, I still ask the question. So I like to ask questions and I like to improve. And with those questions, I experiment. So that's why I experiment with big plants and tiny pots. I experiment with it. I want to see if I can do the impossible.
Oh man, that's right too. I think like one of the first times I was looking at your garden, I was like, "What is that? A 3 gallon?" I think you could do that in a 1 gallon. And I don't know if you'll ever do that, but I feel like you took that as a challenge. Like, oh shit, yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, I jumped on your live and you said you should try that in a 1 gallon.
Yeah, try it in 1 gallon. I bet you can do it as well in a 1 gallon. Yeah. No,
It
I
worked.
see what you got in small pots. You got giant fucking plants. You got a plant filling a 5x5 right now. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I have a 3 gallon and 5. That's the plant you challenged me with. You said try it in a 1 gallon. And when I finally bought some 1 gallons, that plant was in a 1 gallon and it was huge. And
well,
I'm like,
and for what it's worth, a 5x5 out of a 3 gallons, pretty goddamn good. Like pretty goddamn
it's
good.
wall to wall. It's really touching the poles in every corner. It's wall to wall. It's wall to wall. So yeah, I was basically testing the limits with that. I asked people, I said, should I do a 5 gallon? And they were like, no, like try it in a 3. But I was aiming for a 5, but I looked at the plant. I'm like, dude, this is big enough for a 5x5.
Right.
So instead of me transplanting it, I just threw it in there, and it's huge. And I cut a lot off.
Yeah,
too.
it's a little more often to watering. It's a little more often with keeping things wet. Mm-hmm. It really depends how you do that. By hand, it's not a big deal. You want to be in there every day and kind of see your plant and see how it's going. Especially if you're running a big plant in a small pot.
Helps the CO2 as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Talking to the plants, singing to them, dropping bars, right? Yeah. I know you meet a lot of new people, because I've met a lot of new people, new growers. In fact, a lot of old gray face growers. I've met a lot of gray face growers out there on your channel, on your live and in their independent groups. Like, are there a few people you want to give kind of shouts out to while we're here? Because I know you got some real loyal members of the community.
Oh man, it's not even about it's about the community, girl. It's about, when I started my channel, I didn't look for people to come and just view the channel. I looked out for I was looking for other growers with channels, and I came across the Organic Grow channel. And you're in New York, John. His name is John Boy. And
we love John. Yeah, we love John Boy. Yeah.
When I seen his autoflowers are 8 feet, and I'm like, bro, that's a record-breaking autoflower. He's like, no way. I'm like, yes way. That thing is fucking huge, bro. That's an auto. He's like, yeah. Couldn't believe it. And every plant in that room was almost 7, 8 feet autoflowers, and he grows in 15-gallon pots. But I mean, I obviously they were slowed down, like they weren't autoflowering when they was just more focused on growing. So he grew that. When he grew those autoflowers, they were a little longer than usual, but they were fucking huge.
No, but
And
that's it. He somehow figured out how to get a long veg, squeeze a long veg out of the auto.
Yeah, he blew my mind. So that's the first guy. I mean, and he started his channel on January 1st, and I started mine on the 14th, and we've been tight buddies ever since, man. So that was the very first guy. And then Med Grower 420. My very first day, I asked him a question about what likes to get in the grow, and he's been in comments every single video since then. Very cool, loyal guy, and he knows what he's doing. So shout out to Maine.
That's right. And I seen Kyoto grow over there. I seen KJ all day racing, man, over there. Evil
KJ
Genius.
lives
I know
down
he's pretty proud of you guys.
Yeah.
No, he's ever present. I love seeing KJ around, man. He's a very funny guy. I've met a lot of really good bang up people in your community, guys. If you want to meet a new community of proven growers, people who are doing the right stuff, people who aren't full of themselves, people who aren't tooting their own horn, because John's the most chill, like living soil person I ever met. He doesn't have like an agenda, when talking to people. He's got his own thing. He's super chill to do it. He'll talk to you about it if you ask. You're very much the same way. It's just nice to meet a lot of like really bang up fellows. But you must meet a lot of new growers, right? People who are interested and maybe like their first time.
Yeah.
What are the things that they ask you? What do you tell them? Like, instead of doing the rewind and talking to yourself, what do you tell the random new grower? What's your advice to them?
With the new growers, I get a lot of questions about autoflowers because my channel is really revolving around autoflowers, so that's the main thing. But when it comes to the newer growers, my main advice to them is you have to grow based on what works for you. I mean, you can see somebody else growing fantastic, but that may not fit into your schedule. So when someone asks me, what should I grow? And I'm like, how much time do you want to spend with your plants? If you're very busy and you have a very busy schedule, you want to grow in soil. And because, you only have to water every day like you do in cocoa. And it depends on your actual situation that will help guide your first grow. If you have a lot of time and you're at home at all time, you might want to grow in cocoa because when you're growing in cocoa, you're going to have to respond to the plant as every day. So if there's something going on with the plant, that's going to respond almost immediately when you try to fix it or correct an issue. In soil, it's not like that. It takes a little more time. And if you have the time, you can just make sure your soil is correct, put a seed in it, and everything should be fine. You can just water every 3 days, like, or whenever your schedule permits. So soil is more forgiving. Cocoa is more of a quicker, faster learning experience. And it's based on how much time you have to give to the plant.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. First off, evaluate what your life situation is. Kind of know yourself. Like, I know I'm a sloppy grower. I tend to grow sloppy. I don't tend to grow very structured. Trellis nets, I almost don't even have time for. I just kind of let them get overgrown and try not to throw too much light at the ground. It's really about everyone's situation. And of course, also after that, what budget, right? Like, what sort of space do you have? How big you trying to take this, right? Not everybody's going to have 150 square feet, flower space. Not everyone's going to have money for giant systems. But, like you said, just throw in like an auto flower seed. What do we spend on that nowadays? Like $10, $12, $8 on a sale?
Pretty much.
Yeah. You throw that in like half a bag of soil, and then you go from there. Man, that's really fantastic. And, it's probably some of the better advice we've gotten on this program, and actually the one thing you didn't mention was something that someone else we interviewed mentioned. Basement Grower Joe was like, new growers get into a community, right? Like, and I see that you've created a community around you, so you're very humble about it, and I appreciate that. Where do we find you? Like, where should we look to find you if my viewers don't know where you are and they want to come and check you out and hang out with your show and meet the amazing group panel of good growers and people who are interested and positive about it? Where do we find you?
Oh yeah, so I go live on the Yield Source. It's right there by my name. On YouTube, we go live every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and we're live on John's channel right now, actually, Saturdays at 7:30. And the panel is always the same. And then we go live again with Maine, Med Grower 420, and he's sporadic. He does lives probably twice a week. So we do lives, and that's where you'll meet the panel, and they're awesome. They're pretty cool, and it's great because it's like collective knowledge. So when you ask a question, you get a collective answer. Especially with the different types of grows, DWC and the soil, and then it's just great to have multiple.
Yeah, we're all represented there for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we're all represented there. I mean, I'm there. You see Matt's green space. You can talk to him. He's like the premier
he's great at
up-and-coming scientist. Yeah.
He's in school for weed now too.
Yeah, he and I were talking about that. And, some of the information I got, I wouldn't have gotten if I wasn't hanging out in your space. Man, thanks for giving back to the community. Thanks for really, putting yourself in the middle of the community. Is there anything we missed? Anything you wanted to hit on that we didn't talk about yet?
Nope, other than the fact that my microphone wasn't in front of me the whole time. So I don't know.
You sound good. No, you sound great the whole time. Yeah.
All right, great.
So
awesome.
We're going to sign off now. And because it's already 8:43, we're going to pop over there and see Organic Grow Channel, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to hang out with John. All right. And guys, make sure you go over there, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. JP's not going to hit you with too many surprise stuffs, but he does drop a lot of content. Like, you've got a lot of teaching videos. You put time into your, graphics, your productions, your editing. And I really appreciate the easy on the eyes content that you create.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's good information, but not all of it is good information, and also kind of easy to see and reaches us in a way that hey, look at my background. Look at JP's. All right. JP made this graphic. He made this graphic right there. That graphic right there. He made all of it, man. So yeah, check him out. And if you need help on any of your production on your channel, talk to him. This guy's a wizard on the Photoshop. All right.
Yeah, I help out a lot of gromies with slaps and stuff. So if you're
you really helped me. We got to talk about that, man. I think stickers and maybe a T-shirt might be the next thing happening here at Indoor Promised Land.
It's a T-shirt press right here. That's a T-shirt press. Yeah.
Dude,
I have everything in the studio. So
all right, we gotta talk. All right. Hey, guys, I'll see you over there at Yield Source. I'll see you over there at Organic Grow Channel. Check us out here in Indoor Promised Land. Thank you, JP, for your time. I really
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me up, bro. I really appreciate it.
Love the channel. Thank you so much for making time, man.
All right. Peace.
My first time.